Hey, it's Lynn Brown. I'm a speaker, trainer, and coach for the John Maxwell team and a teaching partner with Empowered Living. In the first half of my life, I basically was trapped by the opinions of other people. And then in my spare time, I was literally trapped by the opinions of others. It was like living in a mental prison. And then one day I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I don't know if any of you listen have ever experienced that, but I was like, there has got to be more for me in this life. And it was at that time that I took a step in the direction of my dream. Now, it was a small step, but it was a step. And I had never done that before. I had lived half my life and had never done that before. But I bet on myself. I invested in a personal growth program, became certified. And I will tell you that when I began to change the way that I looked at things, the things that I looked at truly began to change. And then later I found the quote, Wayne Dyer, he actually said that, and it's so true. So now I just partner with people who want to do the same, who want to become the best versions of themselves, and then in turn go add value to other people so they can go and multiply that. And it's just that ripple effect. So today is no different. I'm super excited to introduce our guest for today. You're going to love her. She is amazing, passionate about, what lights her fire in her soul. And so, Aleksandra, welcome to the Gritty Women podcast. What are you most excited about today?
Hi, thank you for having me. So I'm super excited to talk to you about what I do, because except being a fashion photographer and writer, I focus a lot on helping artists turn their creative passion into a full-time job, because seeing so many people who are miserable and hate their jobs, like I read somewhere that 70 to 75% of people hate their jobs. And, many would love to be creative and do something else, but they never even try because they consider it's risky, and they just go to a job that they know they will hate. And I feel heartbroken when I see it, because I strongly believe that if more people would do what they love, the world would be a better place. So I'm super excited to talk to you about it.
Wow, that is such a great point, because if we don't wake up every day excited, to hit the floor running, to just run toward what we love, that impacts our mindset. It impacts the people around us. And I totally believe that you're right. There's so many people not walking in their purpose. There's so many creatives out there that are so talented, but they just don't know how to take that and market it and push it out there. So I'm super excited to hear, your experience on this today.
So what I think is the basis of the success is your mindset, because many people have been brought up in this traditional way, me including, study hard, get good grades, and then get a good job. And this get a good job always means somebody has to give you a job. So, we are always expecting to please somebody, and so that somebody can do us this favor and give us a job. And in order to succeed as an artist or as a creative or just freelancer doing something else, you have to switch this mindset to something meaning get a good job, meaning create this job for yourself, or create the opportunities for yourself to get a good job. So putting more pressure on yourself, but also giving you the control over your life. It's not that nobody wants to give me a job. It's up to you. You can do it. So you have to have this active mindset and just do the smallest thing that comes to your mind, because I know starting is difficult, but the smallest thing that comes to your mind, just start. Make a list of all the possible things, no matter how stupid they may seem or crazy, and try them one by one. And also learn that most of them will not work. It's usually like this. It's totally normal. It's not that you're a failure. It's just that you have to adjust. So you keep learning what works in your situation, what doesn't, and you just keep adjusting, learning, and trying. And this way you really see that the snowball starts rolling.
That's such a great point. It's just taking that first step. You're going to fail. We know that failure is a constant companion to success. It is not going away ever. So when we get over that fear of failure and realize that the greatest things in the world really came through failure. I always think about the Wright brothers, and I think about what their mom must have thought when they ran in that afternoon going, "Mom, oh mom, we're going to make a flying machine." I mean, I can just hear me talking to my kids going, "Oh, well, that sounds great. Let me get the camera and take your picture, whatever. We'll post it on Instagram." But I'm sure they were like, whatever, here those boys go again. But they kept on. They never had a pilot's license. They had never seen a plane because there wasn't a plane. But I think that's such a great point you said. It's just start. And then as you go through your ideas and even the failures, you're going to begin to build that snowball as it goes. And the momentum is just going to continue. But yeah, you gotta fight for your dream because nobody else is going to.
Definitely.
Wow. Now, when you were small, like in elementary school, was there ever anything about you? Were there any clues in your background did you start a lemonade stand, or were you just driven in any of those areas like that? Was there something that made you want to own your own business someday?
Well, when I was in elementary school, not really. I just always, when people were asking me what you want to do, I always had some quite weird answers, like I want to be a paleontologist and study dinosaurs. Yeah.
That is hilarious. That's great though, because you were already thinking out of the box.
Yeah, I was always
way out there.
Yes, I was always making my teachers quite crazy because, or I was writing the essay on something else, on, inventing some new interpretation of the movie. And, sometimes my teachers were even like blocking me or punishing me, like saying, no, it doesn't work. Or I remember one very particular thing in secondary school when we had to invent our own sign, like a sign that you could put in a class, in a school, something like the road signs. And instead of doing something boring like please keep silent, or don't eat, like things that everybody did, I made something like it's forbidden to do brainwashing or attention brainstorming. And my teacher hated it.
Oh, that is so amazing. How old were you then when you did that?
I guess, 14.
That is amazing. So you said attention, brainstorming, and what'd you say about brainwashing? Forbidden.
It's forbidden. Yeah, forbidden brainwashing.
I mean, you were like this little pioneer, but way before your time, because that's
I always hate something that is, everybody was doing those simple things, but I never do the simple things because they're boring. This was quite devastating that my teachers usually hated those ideas. But so I just was, okay, I will wait till the school ends and then I will really do something with it.
Wow, that is amazing. And you got to wonder, why do you think that those teachers were threatened by that idea?
Well, I think they were, this particular teacher, he seemed like a burnout, middle-aged man, and he probably was doing actually what he told to the students. So he was just taking the easy way, doing something just to like pass the exam or just pass the next day of life. And he wasn't really passionate about it. So I don't know, he was like, yeah, when he saw my drawings, and I don't know, he just didn't like anything that was out of his comfort zone. It was weird, but I didn't care really.
Yeah, that is so amazing though, but it didn't stop your passion. And that's what I hope everybody can hear today that's listening to this podcast. Even though you may be in an environment that is the soil, the growth environment is toxic for your dream, and you're throwing your dream out there and it's landing on toxic soil. But if you have enough passion and you have to go the extra mile and you find people that are doing what you want to do, your dream will survive. But you're the fire behind the dream. But I think that is amazing. And what a great just real-time lesson for all of us. And wow, I wish you could speak to the national education associations in all over the world, because this very thing is what has broken our system, this lack of creativity. And we've been taught to learn from 20th century, a mindset of 20th century. And, we're no longer there. the the ship has left the harbor, but people are still talking about stuff that nobody's answering questions to, and they're still asking those questions. It's like, it's time to move on. So, wow, how exciting. Wow. So despite what the noise was around you, you just kept on creating, and you were so far past any box. There was no box near you. And so then when did you step into your business that you're doing now?
So actually, after I finished high school, I wanted to go to film school because it was my dream to be a movie director. I didn't manage. I totally collapsed the entry exams. And so I went to law school because, anyway, I was brought up in a very traditional way. My parents are doctors, my grandparents are teachers. So, it was always study, get good grades, get a good job. So, when my parents were trying to support me, on the other hand, they were just scared. When I said I want to go to film school, my mom was totally terrified. My dad told me you will end up working in a supermarket. So they told me, they just made me like a ultimatum. Okay, apply for film school, but also pass your exams so that you can get into university if you need. So I didn't get into film school, so I went to law school because actually I didn't have a better idea for my life. And in Poland you can do so many things after law school. You not only can be a lawyer, you can work in corporations, you can work in magazines, you can teach, you can do so many things. Just people think you're smart. So it was just a broad area. It was like, okay, I have no better idea for my life, I will go to law school.
So you chose that just out of not desperation, but it was a traditional path to go that would provide income. It was a safe place. And
yes, sort of. And also at being 19, I didn't feel I'm ready for anything else. So I knew I wanted to go to university. Just, I didn't get into film school, I didn't get into creative university. So I was like, okay, I can go to study law because, it's not different than how I was studying at school. And I knew somehow, for this traditional growing up, I knew I wanted to go to university. I wanted to have a degree. It was my passion to be in law, but I wanted to have a good degree so that, because I didn't really know who I wanted to be. So I wanted to have a degree that would open me many doors in the future. And
right.
So that was my plan. During the university, I was taking pictures all the time. At some point, I was all the time organizing photo shoots. At some point, my mom told me, baby, I know you will not be a lawyer, but please just graduate.
just put down your camera and finish the bar and pass it, and then you can take some more pictures.
Yeah, just get the degree. Just get the degree. I know you won't be a lawyer, but just get the degree. With my mom, it's actually a funny story because at first she was totally terrified. She didn't even want to let me apply to film school, but later her friends convinced her. But later, seeing that all my passion and all the effort I was putting into pictures and creativity, now she's actually my biggest fan. So it's a bit like a Billy Elliot story.
Wow.
So about my business, it actually was a bit of a coincidence because right after graduating law back in Poland, I moved to Italy to join my then fiance, now my husband. And so I started searching for a job. And, for nearly 8 months, I was struggling and I was depressed because I have 3 degrees, because except of photography, except of law, I also have Spanish philology and photography. I speak 5 languages and I couldn't find a job. So I was I neither getting an interview for a secretary. So after 8 months, I was like, okay, that's enough. I'm putting so much effort into getting a job I will hate, and it can't go any worse than that. So why not putting all this effort into something I might actually like? And as I said, it can't go worse than that.
That is wild. You went through all of that, and then you just decided, you know what? I'm taking that step in the direction of my dream.
Yes, definitely. I was in a foreign country. I wasn't speaking even the language well. I didn't know anybody. I wanted to be a fashion photographer. I didn't know any models. I didn't know any makeup artists. But I was like, okay, like it's enough. I can spend years on doing this, searching for a job, later do for a few years internship for very bad money, and later, they promise, so maybe in 10 years I will get any normal payment, and for what? Like, it's not worth it.
Wow. So a first step, what could you say to, our listeners, our viewers out there, regardless of, the area that they're wanting to go into, but, specifically if they are interested in an area of, the arts, what would you recommend? What is a good next step?
So first, this active mindset, so that it's all up to you, and keep searching, keep inventing ways. This didn't work, okay, then other one. This is the thing I already said. What I think is important is to consider everything that you already have, that you already can do, because many people tell me, I don't have the right camera, I don't have the studio, I don't have that. Okay, focus on what you already have, because you will discover that you can do so many things. Like, for example, me as photographer, yes, I make photo shoots and I make fashion photo shoots, but I also sometimes take, birthday party pictures if needed, if I have too little clients, or I can teach retouching, or I offer retouching services. I'm good with Photoshop, so I design book covers. I sell my pictures on stock, and so on and so on and so on. So you can keep growing this list, and also this way you create multiple sources of income that bring you actually the financial security, because it's not only that now is COVID, but a year ago, for example, a member of my family got very ill, and I had to spend a month with them in hospital, and I didn't lose any money on this because I just moved some photo shoots. The rest I was working from my laptop, and I was fine. And I was all the time thinking, oh my God, and if I would have a 9-to-5 job, what would I do? It would be so horrible. So this way, using everything that you have, sometimes making compromises. As I said, I was also taking birthday party pictures and baptism pictures. I never did weddings because it takes too much time, but just adjusting and going, using everything that you have, it helps. It's the way to start. Also, I know the most difficult thing at the beginning is finding clients. So my advice with that is try to go to places where they are already searching for services like yours, because you may have a website, but if you don't have a traffic, it doesn't bring results. It can be like your business card, but first you have to find a person to give this business card to. So, all the websites, Fiverr, Upwork, places, local area websites with announcements, with news, websites where people already can request services. There are websites like for brides that there are lists of wedding photographers, makeup artists, florists, and all the things. Wedding is an easy example, but all the things that you can think about like this in your area where people are already searching for what you need, it's much easier to sell to such people who already know that they need you.
That's right. Just become the solution to somebody's problem. And when we do that, regardless of our background, but when we become the solution, then we, have customers for life. And so that is so enlightening. And I just thank you so much. We're going to have to have you back on the show again, because I know that there are going to be some people that want to, just have the next step and find out some ways they can specialize, even with this, the state of, uncertainty that we're facing all over the world, and how we can still use and design our life just through the flexibility. So I'm super excited. As we close out today, tell us real quick how people can connect with you.
So people can connect with me through my website, that is aleksandragaler.com, Aleksandra with KS. And I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. On my website, there is a live chat, and it's me answering everything. So I love getting awesome messages.
Okay, well, thank you. And we'll definitely put all your bio and contact points with the podcast when we publish it, and we'll, let you know when that's coming out. And so until we have you back on the show, thank you so much. I look forward to connecting with you on all things social, and just remember that, gritty is the new strong, gritty is the new pretty, and we're going to fall down, but we're going to keep gritting back up. So thank you so much again, Aleksandra. I wish you the best, and I look forward to connecting with you in the future.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Oh, it's so great to have you. Thank you again.